and the response by the government. Kampala traders today went ahead with a sit-down strike to show dissatisfaction over what they say is a government's reluctance to respond to the rising cost of living and other issues that directly affect the cost of doing business in Uganda. The decision by the traders to carry on with the strike came on the heels of an earlier communication through their chairman, Mr. Everest, had been called off after the intervention of President Museveni. Today, government appealed to the traders to call off the strike, which ends tomorrow, so as to give government 1 month to address these concerns. Trade and Industry Minister Amelia Chembadi told traders at Nachivo Stadium the government needs time to work on the depreciating shilling, adding that the Minister of Finance will table the matter in Cabinet and Parliament with clear proposals on how to deal with the escalating dollar. However, traders reacted by jeering the minister, saying the time scale was too long and demanding immediate action. Traders started the 2-day strike by closing their businesses today in protest at the depreciating shilling, high taxes and an increase in the trading license fee. Traders told Mrs. Chambadi that they have lost much of their capital because of the depreciating shilling. They also wondered why they are paying taxes on imports to the Uganda Revenue Authority and rent for shops in dollars rather than shillings. In Parliament, government indicated that it was ready to postpone raising trading license fees so as to look into the demands of the traders. Government has indicated in Parliament that it has also undertaken a registration of foreigners to establish what kind of businesses they are running. In response to the challenges at hand today, the central bank increased the interbank lending rates to 13% from 11% previously, a move that is set to push higher commercial bank lending rates. This move, according to Emmanuel Tumisime Mutevile, the Governor Bank of Uganda, is aimed at tightening Uganda's monetary policy, which seeks to mop up excess liquidity in the money market in order to fight the current runaway inflation. So tonight we focus on this matter to try and understand the concerns of the traders and the response of the government. Our guests tonight: Honorable Stephen Mukitale Birahwa, Chairman of the National Committee on the Economy. You're most welcome, Honorable Birahwa.
Good evening, everyone. I want to sincerely both the consumers and the traders who make the government. It's not about only the traders, because the one who bears the brand finally is the consumer.
We also have Honorable Muhamad Nsereko, Kampala Central Member of Parliament, also a member of the Committee on the National Economy. You're most welcome, Honorable Nsereko.
Thank you very much, and great evening, very sad one, to all the people of Uganda and mainly people of my constituency. I would like to first of all sympathize with you, first of all those traders that have gone to a sit-down strike in lieu of exercise of their constitutional right and in lieu of seeking redress from this government. I understand whatever you're going through, and I'm with you toe by toe. Rest assured, we want this matter addressed. But equally, I would also like to sympathize with the consumers and all those that benefit from the different businesses, employees and others, and even non-shop owners and even buyers in the city that have been inconvenienced with this or with this action that was taken. So my sympathy goes to all of you, but my further sympathy goes to government that was looking at things in a funny way, taking them to be so simple. It's now time that you come out and address pertinent issues that touch the common man. This is the common man in this country.
That's the Member of Parliament for Kampala Central, indicating that the government is on its back foot. It's been pushed almost to the wall with many challenges, including electricity. We are expecting to be joined by Mr. Sekito, spokesperson for the KACITA, that's the Kampala City Traders Association. He had indicated to be available to us online. However, we are unable to reach the number that he gave us right now. In case we're able to get him later, he'll join us. Honorable Birahwa, today many people were surprised to find that this. Do you understand the rationale for this strike today?
Of course, I wouldn't want to be on the side of justifying the strike, but as I've already mentioned, that the challenges this country is facing at this point in time are serious. I want first of all to call upon the experts in this government, right from Ministry of Finance, Bank of Uganda as advisors. This is not time for short-term remedies. This is not time to do business as usual. This is time really to go on the drawing board and call a spade and tell us what has actually gone wrong and what are the short-term, medium-term and long-term interventions which are threatening a shilling which has been stable for over a decade, which are threatening the country where we've been proudly, I'm just from South Africa, and I was proudly telling people that Uganda in the next 3 years is going to be a middle-income country. Now, with this, what's happening now, it's a negation. We can lose all the gains. And therefore, this is a very critical matter which must be looked at seriously, even if it means budget cuts in luxurious, administrative, non-productive sectors. We should do that in this budget so that we see resources focused and put in productive areas. One thing which has come out very clearly as the prices start showing is that this country is still dependent on agriculture, and we are going to do so for some time. We must see redirection of resources into the productivity of agriculture, whether it means our agriculture production, because we have the market in the region. We must see more resources going into the direction of the youth entrepreneurship, where we are going to get results. We must now look at catalytic areas with a bigger multiplier effect. We must seriously look at the challenges of land. How do we make sure that as many youths who are unemployed can go back to land and do some? We need a lot of radical instruments which government must do, and Parliament should not this time round do business as usual. When we are appropriating this budget, I strongly want to appeal for reallocation of resources. We cannot continue with what we had earlier anticipated, because whereas there are strong statements in the areas where we should be putting money, you will also find that the budget is not matching the stance. So we even have another problem at hand, the power cuts by those who are saying they have not been paid. But some of us on the Committee of Natural Resources have been saying that the cost of power is too high, and that we cannot politically fix this. So the mistakes we end up with is bring bare some of the mistakes. For example, in the energy mix we are having, there are so many alternative sources of energy. We have not invested money there. We have looked at hydro, and when we were in a crisis, we went into the diesel generators, which have actually increased the cost of power. And government, by the way, is spending a lot of money to subsidize. The cost of power today is subsidized by government. So this is a time to seriously rethink and make sure that we don't allow this country to slide back, because we are at the brunt of sliding back. A ceiling is so critical. Let me also remind Ugandans, most people don't know that the very strong economy of Zimbabwe did not just collapse because of one man, Mugabe.
The previously strong.
The previously very strong in Africa. But one mistake, one sentimental expenditure on veterans and paying them all the money has caused Zimbabwe a problem which up to now cannot be fixed. They are just trying, but it has taken them almost a decade to fix. To put money in a non-productive. You want to please veterans, you release money to them, and
you destroy the economy.
Their money lost it, and up now they can't. So this is time to rethink. Wherever we go, the other day I wanted some rands in South Africa. The process of just selling dollars to rands is so detailed. It could be time for Uganda, this over-liberalized forex, I think it is the easiest place in Africa to repatriate profits, supernormal profits. By the way, we have a lot of companies, including telecoms. I'm happy I can use a mobile in Ulisa, but the rip-off is too much. The telecom companies are killing this country, and they don't plow back. They will not show you a single entrepreneur, a single project of youth employment where they are putting money. They are ripping us off. This is the time for us to start looking about some of these areas. There is how much should an investor in Uganda take away? It's time to start asking such questions. We have had good policies for economic growth. It is now time to rethink. We cannot become a middle-income country, even with the oil we are talking about in the Rift Valley, if we don't tie some gaps. There is a lot of gaps. So we can no longer say private sector led. You can see private sector led is only good when the government has put everything right. But you can't ask private sector to fix for you things when they have gone wrong.
Right.
And that's why some of us believe in a developmental state. A developmental state allows private sector to perform, but regulations are strong. The state intervenes in strategic sectors. If you think Uganda has a niche in some area, government can put money in those areas where the private sector cannot go. And this is, you see, we are talking about the structure of the state.
Right.
When somebody says that the problem is the food and the food and the food, you are basically saying there's a problem with the structure of the state.
Exactly.
So that's where we should be doing the fixing.
That's Honorable Stephen Muktalabira was speaking very passionately about this economy. Of course, this is an economy that's in dire straits. You could even use the word in a crisis. Interest rates are rising. Inflation is in double digits for the first time in 17 years. The foreign exchange regime is very unstable. We're seeing very wide spreads, which indicates the market is not yet stable. Power, there's a power shortage. We have a deficit of about 120 megawatts. Much of our electricity is generated by electricity, which is very expensive. Government had indicated it would spend $212 million this year on government subsidies, on power subsidies, $212 million. We do not know what has happened to that. Honorable Muhamad Nsereko, the traders are striking today. Is that fair? Or is it not fair?
100% in a democratic country like Uganda, where we call for good governance. When people are dissatisfied with something, they've worked